Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hello, Colorado. This is John Baird with I Love Colorado Beer podcast. Today on my show, I have Colin Bickford. He's with Epic Beer Festivals, and he's putting on the Mile High Beer Fest, and it's in Rhino. Tell us a little bit about what Epic Beer Festivals is.
So Epic Beer Festival started off about 4 years ago with the idea of basically bringing as much beer possible to people all over the Denver area, and then it kind of expanded to San Diego and Philadelphia. Now since then, we've learned that we prefer smaller beer festivals that have shorter lines and a more intimate experience where the brewers can actually talk about the beer that they're showcasing, as opposed to just having volunteers talk about it themselves. And so we've downsized a little bit, and that's what Mile High Beer Festival is a smaller festival in the Rhino area with predominantly local breweries showcasing what they got.
So where did the idea for Mile High Beer Festival come from? Like, where were you guys and where was Epic Beer Festival when they decided, let's do Mile High Beer Festival?
Well, I don't know if you've ever been in the River North Rhino neighborhood of Denver, but it's chock full of breweries. Amazing breweries there. Every single one of them, they're all doing cool stuff. And we were doing a little pub crawl, me and my business partner. And he had done Mile High Beer Festival a couple of years prior, and we had retired from the big festivals, and we started talking up again. It's just, hey, this is such a cool part of town. There's so many breweries. The community's meant for it. Like, let's start it up again. And we had we already had our contacts from Epic Beer Festival, so we sent it out to people that love beer festivals and got a great response. And looking forward to it.
All right, so you're doing your pub crawl, and you decide, let's throw a beer festival.
Yeah,
Which I'm sure that's happened all the time. What's the next step? Like, how do you actually make that happen? I'm sure a lot of guys have been out there be like, beer festival, that'd be great. Let's do a beer festival. So how do you make it actually happen?
What happens is you need a venue, and we're at the Exto Event Center, blocks away from several of the breweries that are coming to the event. So you need to call them up, you need to reserve the spot, and we actually, on purpose, chose a winter time frame. I mean, during the summer, you know this,
Yep.
There's 1,000 breweries every weekend to choose from, and we want to give people something to do in the winter. It's right before Valentine's Day, so that can be a date idea. And so you pick a date, you pick the venue, and then you start contacting breweries. And lucky for us, we have such a great reputation in the beer community for treating our brewers well with respect and giving them a good festival. And they're all pretty dead around that time, so they were more than happy to hop on board during the festival in February.
So there's a lot of different beer festivals in Colorado, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What makes Mile High Beer Festival different from the regular beer festivals?
Yeah, of course. The other
beer festivals.
Everyone's got something that that they're known for. If you ask any of the brewers, any of our past attendees, any reviews you see on Yelp or Facebook, it's always consistent with what we do. It's the short lines. We limit our. We have a special number that we have per how many people we let in per how many breweries are attending.
Sure.
And we cap our ticket sales pretty early compared to what other festivals do. So you may have a really popular brewery that's brought a really awesome IPA that has a long line, but for the most part, you're never really waiting for beer at our festivals. And that's what people get really excited about is, they pay for time to sample, and we give them plenty of it.
Right.
And that's really what separates apart. Obviously, is the local feel. We got Colorado-only breweries. Most of them are within blocks of the actual venue, and we require that breweries show up to the festivals. Like I say, no volunteers, so
Sure.
Brewers can talk, directly to the people that are either lifelong fans or brand new drinkers to the community.
Yeah, around in Colorado, we're blessed with having all kinds of beer festivals. We have
Yes.
Great American Beer Festival, and it's always one of my frustrations that at GABF you go up and you get your beer and you're like, oh wow, that's got an interesting flavor, and you ask the person that poured you your beer, tell me about this beer, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I know it's a beer, and it looks dark,
Yes.
but other than that, I don't know anything.
Yeah, and to be fair, Epic Beer Festival, that was kind of the same thing. We made little cards to help educate our volunteers about the beer, but I mean, it all comes back to the beer. I mean, that is why we do this. I mean, you and I, we both love beer.
Yeah.
Cheers again.
Cheers.
And we want to bring it to more people and not be so intimidating with whether they're a dark, heavy IPA. And we want someone behind the booth to explain all the different types and make make sure that people know what they're drinking.
Right. And I think that's important. It's about sampling great beer, but also learning a thing or two.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, tell me about what you think the clientele might be. How might that differ from GABF or any of the other beer festivals that might be around Colorado?
So, I mean, at our festival, you'll find, I've learned this, is that you'll find the beer geeks. Beer geeks, of course, that go to every festival and sample.
Yeah.
But more and more, you're finding people that are just looking for a social environment and trying to have fun, and looking for an introduction to the beer community. I mean, of course, it's huge. It's blown up in Colorado with how many breweries there are and how many people are sampling, and you get more and more people that want to try it. And then, of course, I mean, we have live music. You know, people want to drink some beer and then dance. Like that's also part of the.
It's a fun thing to do.
It's a fun thing. It's a fun part, and then the last hour can be kind of a party, and that's inevitable, and
sometimes more than kind of a party. Depending on how it goes.
Yeah. But that's it's a mix. It's by no means just a bunch of beer snobs, smelling and tasting beer. It's a really lively event and a lot of fun. Sure.
But beer snobs are welcome as well, right?
Oh, of course. I count myself as a beer snob, and many of my friends are coming, and I expect them to talk to brewers for 20 minutes or so about the type of hops they use.
We've recently seen at festivals several really in-depth, intricate tattoos of hops on people. And
yes.
It's very impressive.
It's amazing. I used to work for Rogue Ales.
Okay.
And they actually reimburse people, tattoos of Rogue that people get on their body, up to $200.
Really?
So if you get a tattoo of their logo or anything Rogue, they'll reimburse it up to $200. Now I will not reimburse anyone that gets a Mile High Festival tattoo, but if they really want to do that, or hops,
Sure, whatever. But yeah, there's some cool stuff out there. There are craft beer fans. So two questions. How many beer festivals are coming? And number two, I'm not going to put you on the spot, I promise.
Okay.
What's the best brew that's going to be there?
Oh, right. What's the best brew?
Yeah.
So we're thinking about, like I said, because Summerfests are just totally crowded, and there's one every weekend. For one, it's kind of hard for the breweries to get on board. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of them, but they just we can't just come to all these festivals, and so we're steering clear of the summertime festivals, and probably just make Mile High Beer Festival a yearly thing during the winter. As for the beers, this actually is right around the time I start asking breweries what they're going to bring, so we can start making the signs and everything. And a lot of them themselves are actually pretty secretive about it until the last minute. They kind of want to surprise me or see what they got.
Sure.
And so I actually don't know. I can't speak with full truth what the best type is going to be. But I do know that it's winter. You can expect some heavily spiced and barrel aged stuff, a little bit stronger. Maybe some specialty stouts.
Do you know how many breweries?
We got 25 beer breweries, 2 cideries, and a meadery. So 28 establishments total.
Okay. That's good.
But still some other specialty drinks for people that don't necessarily like beer. Got some cider and some
right. So gluten
and some gluten-free beer and gluten-reduced.
Right. So which is the best brewery that's going to be there?
Oh, you can't ask me that. I'm friends with so many of them. I could never say that.
So we'll throw a shout out to Resolute. We're here at Resolute doing this interview, and Zach was so kind as to allow us to come in and do the interview. This is his brew house. See all his fermenters in the background and everything. So Zach, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Food, music. I saw that on the website.
So with music, we got a local band, Chain Station. We've worked with them before. They're always a big hit, and we got DJ in between their sets, so there'll be plenty of dancing. For food trucks, we got 3 of them, all local Denver spots. Everything from pizza to specialty barbecue sandwiches, and really good classic beer festival food.
Right. Awesome stuff.
Sure to be a great treat, whether or not you're just starting out, want a nice little base, or you're 3 hours into the drinking and you need a big slice.
Don't forget to eat some food during your tasting. Yeah.
Please eat some food.
Otherwise, that last hour gets a little too silly sometimes. So,
indeed.
So tell us a little bit about We Don't Waste.
Yeah, We Don't Waste. It's we've worked with them before. It's a charity located a block and a half north of the venue we're at. Amazing organization. What they do is they basically collect food that would normally have been thrown away by various restaurants or catering events or any other festival or something where there would be leftover food. And they take that food and then bring it to, I think, over 50 different associations in Colorado to then, I mean, everything from like the Denver Food Bank to other charities that give stuff away. And so I think they've saved. They have like a running total about how many meals they've saved, and it's in the millions, you know, because normally the stuff just gets thrown away.
Yeah.
Because you have all these apples and they're going to go bad, and the restaurant's like, okay, we're either going to throw these away, or waste comes in, takes the apples and brings them to a food rescue program. And so they've actually been the beneficiary for every event we've done because they're such a part of the community and do such good work.
Well, it sounds like a great cause.
Yeah.
I've heard some statistics, and it's way above 50% of the food that's actually grown and generated is wasted. So.
Unfortunately so, but I mean, it's awesome we don't waste it there trying to help reduce that number as much as possible.
So you guys decided to do 2 sessions. First session is 1 to 4. Second session is 7 to 10, and VIPs get an hour early for both.
You nailed it. You've done your research.
Yes, I do my research. Why did you guys decide to have your festival in 2 different sessions?
So, for one, it kind of goes back to that special number ratio I was telling you about.
Sure.
We're bringing in 28 Colorado breweries to showcase their stuff, and if we jammed it into one 5-hour session, it just wouldn't be those short lines that we talked about. And we've always found that there's 2 different types of drinkers out there. Some that like to go in the afternoon and then get a big dinner and go to sleep, and people that want to sample in the evening and then hit the town afterwards. So kind of catering to our people. You'd be surprised. I mean, some people say, "Oh, I bet you the afternoon session sells out right away, and you should have trouble with the evening session," or vice versa.
Right.
But the ticket sales climb perfectly even. There's just 2 different types of people that want to attend the festival.
Well, it sounds like Epic Beer Festival is paying attention and putting on some awesome festivals. So
we're always listening.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We appreciate that. We, as in Colorado, appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah. We're here to serve.
So on your website, it says there's going to be a few surprises at the festival.
Yes, there are.
What are those surprises going to be?
I don't know if I can entirely. I can talk about it, sure. So apart from beer festivals, we also run an app. It's called Bar Venture, and what Bar Venture is, it's a program that gets users buy one get one free drinks to every establishment within the app. And so what we're doing is we're working with breweries such as Resolute to basically become a part of the program. So attendees at the festival will get a free download of Bar Venture and be able to go to the breweries that participated in our festival and get a buy one get one free pint at all the ones that choose to participate.
That's
so there's always been the idea actually came from breweries because they get great exposure, they talk to the people, and then naturally people just forget about the brewers. But this way we're getting basically virtual coupons in everyone's hands so they can visit the breweries afterwards and really be a part of what makes our craft beer scene so great. The festivals are awesome, but just here in this brewery you can see this is a lot of fun to be a part of, and you got people on a Monday, a bunch of people in there just drinking and hanging out. That's what we want to do. That's the benefit of the festival, is getting people out to the breweries. So
that's the wonderful craft beer scene in Colorado.
That is exactly what it is.
All right, so give us all of the details. So tell us where people can find out more information, all the social media, everything like that.
Yeah, sure. MileHighBeerFestival.com. That is where you can get your tickets and all the information you need. You can also check out us on Facebook at Mile High Beer Festival.
It's a good website. I like that.
Yeah. It's all pretty straight up. I manage the Facebook page actually, so I'm posting information about all the breweries attending pretty much every day, giving little special bits of information about what the breweries specialize in. As their styles start to come in, and I get permission from the brewers, I'll start to tease what each brewery is bringing. So.
Nice.
Just follow us there and we'll give you more information.
Excellent. Anything we missed? Anything people want to know about Mile High Beer Festival that we didn't tell them yet?
You've done a great job, actually. Your questions have been.
What can I say? I've done this
before.
Yeah.
No, it's in the. One of the coolest things about our festival, I think, is just the location. It's in the River North neighborhood of Denver, and I'd recommend, if you're going to our festival, maybe come to Rhino a little bit beforehand and walk around visit the breweries, visit the local shops, visit the restaurants. It's a wonderful neighborhood that's really up and coming with a lot of cool. I mean, just art on the. I mean, there's a lot of graffiti and like cool graffiti, cool graffiti, and there's some brewer shops like right there. So I'd recommend if you're coming out for the festival, spend time in the neighborhood and get lunch before or after, and have fun where we're hosting it, because that's the coolest part.
All right, so Colin has thrown out an awesome discount code for I Love Colorado Beer listeners. So just go and get your tickets and throw in discount code Beer Legend for your discount code.
Beer Legend, that's it.
And you get 20% off of your entire purchase.
The entire purchase, okay. Yep. If you're buying 4 tickets, you get 20% off the whole thing.
Sweet, that's excellent. All right,
great deal.
Where can they get tickets?
At milehighbeerfestival.com. Right on the front, there's 2 red buttons to choose, session 1, session 2, and it'll take you right to the spot to buy some tickets.
All right, so February 11th, Mile High Beer Festival in Rhino. Cheers, Colorado.
See you there. Cheers.